Cool, man. It's great to see you, Josh. It's been a couple of since March.
Yeah.
No, yeah, May last year
No,
that
May. It was
we
May
got to
last year.
connect it,
That's right.
and I've seen you growing up a lot, making some impact in the industry, and just wanted to really have a quick, I call it CEO interviews of important people that are doing some impact in the cleaning business and in general the home service space. And I've been seeing what you're doing. I like what your different angle towards hiring and managing employees, and that's what I said, hey, let's bring them to this quick CEO interview. So let's get started with just tell me about you and in general your business, where you're located and kind of where you're heading this year.
Yeah. Well, thanks for inviting me on to talk to you about this stuff too, man. I appreciate the compliments. You as well, or somebody that's moving and shaking in an industry. I think it's really cool what you're doing with Pipehire. And I think
Thank you.
obviously we use Pipehire. I think it's going to be something beneficial for lots of companies to use to help them out with this stuff. As far as us, I'm Josh Melton. I'm the owner of Athens Cleaning Company in Athens, Georgia. It is official. We have to say this every time we say Athens, Georgia. We have to say "Go Dogs" right at the end of it. National champion 2 times now.
Oh, wow.
Excuse me, repeat national champions for football. But yeah, our company is a little bit different. I'll tell you a little bit of my story. Is I never wanted to be the cleaning business guy. I did not want to be Josh, the janitor. And so I was always chasing other stuff outside of the cleaning business, trying to make more of my, as men especially, make more of my identity. Like, hey, what do you do outside
Yeah.
of cleaning? And about 4 or 5 years ago now, I really felt like God was telling me, like, just go all in on the cleaning business and like,
Yeah.
don't try to use your gifts and abilities outside of it. Go all in on it and just watch what I'll do. And so at that point, I reluctantly did that. My wife and I got more engaged personally in the business. We stopped doing a lot of the external things we were doing. We went all in, and we've
Yeah.
been blessed by that. As far as our business, what makes us unique is we say there's 3 things. Ultimately, we are relationship first. So we're not just trying to go take out the trash and never talk to the client. We're relationship first. How you're going to know us. And so if you need to say something to us about the quality of service, or you just need something special, you're not calling an anonymous cleaning person. You actually have a name associated with it. So we're relationship
Yeah.
first. We use part-time professional people. Obviously in the cleaning business, for the most part, people think of this as like a fast food type industry, unprofessional people. I said early
Yeah.
on, I want to be the Chick-fil-A of commercial cleaning. So we're like, I want to find professional people that, they'll call people by name. They just naturally have that demeanor of Dale Carnegie, How to Win Friends and Influence People. They're pleasant people.
Definitely.
And also they understand how to communicate in a professional environment. So we're looking for part-time. They're not full-time cleaners. They're working after hours and on the other side of a professional job. So we hire a lot of bank tellers and office managers and things like that to work in our companies. We're like, hey, you're already working in an environment like this. It's a
Yeah.
professional job. So we're going to clean professional offices. And then we say we have a focus on safety and security, which for us is our ability to show clients that we use software systems like Swept and Pipehire and Route and some of the other softwares that are out there. So that's what makes us different. But yeah, we're focused on cleaning professional offices and utilizing part-time professional people to do so. And it's different than what most people expect from a cleaning company. And so it's given us a kind of a clear niche to grow our brand and grow our business.
Definitely. I see a lot of people just pursuing full-time workers, and that's what caught my attention from you. Is like, these guys just taking a different route, because finding part-time cleaners, it's a lot easier, and a lot of people have their full-time jobs, and this could become just the extra gig. And I think that's how you sell it, right? That's how you're proposed, is like, hey, make some extra money, and this is how you've been able to grow so much. Now, how do you start finding these people? What's your typical route or process to go and find them, and how much are you spending typically per month trying to reach these people?
Yeah, great question. So I think one of the things, Juan, is kind of the predecessor to that question is really knowing who it is that you're looking for, excuse me. If you know the personality type that you're looking for, then it's easier for you to post a job ad that attracts that type of person. So for me, I have very clear kind of avatars of who we're looking for. And so we call them just getting started Joanne. This is the person in their first full-time jobs who's not making the money they thought they were going to make. They're learning, oh, taxes. I didn't know that was going to come out of my check. So the just getting started Joanne, who's hungry to pay off student loans, or has got they've bought a new car, they want to pay the car. So we're talking to just getting started Joanne. We're also talking to stay-at-home Megan or homeschool mom Megan, who's, with her kids, professional quality person. She could easily have a professional job, but she's choosing to stay at home to raise her children and just wants to get a
Right.
break away from them. So you're catering to the homeschool mom, Megan, and also soon to retire Stephanie. That's the three names we gave. Soon to retire Stephanie has been working for 20 years and is realizing like, hey, I don't have as much money to retire on as I would like to have. So let me get a
Right.
part-time gig. So that's what we're doing as far as in where we're finding our people. This is not going to be a surprise probably, but overwhelming majority of our people are coming through Indeed as our number one job portal. We also focus on generating new team members through referrals. And that does happen. We offer referral bonuses and stuff like that. But most of our people are coming through Indeed. As far as in what we're spending for hiring, we spend a little bit of money when it comes to those things. I mean, but honestly, not a lot. We're not targeting ads or anything like that. We have Indeed jobs posted. We spend about $120 a month for their resume search, so we can go and invite people to apply.
Oh, wow.
We spend money with our Pipehire subscription, just to help us automate a lot of the functionality and features of doing these things, make it easier for us to do it. And then we spend money on like stuff like Calendly. So when we're booking interviews with people, we don't have to be manually interviewing every single person. So all those things added up, we spend about $400 a month, $350 a month, somewhere around that ballpark is what we're spending.
That's a good number.
Yeah. So we're not, a lot of times I think people are thinking of posting job ads and sponsoring posts or whatever it is. And like, we haven't seen where that's benefited us as much, but not to say it wouldn't benefit others.
I think that makes it a lot easier is when you have a very clear avatar person that you're looking for. And I always tell people is like, the copy of your ad impacts very much who's you're going to come to your ad and who you're attracting to. So I think a lot of people can just benefit out of this specific golden nugget is just make sure you're writing your ads specifically for the person that you're looking for. Because I see that, looking through, a lot of ads of, customers and clients, I see very generic ads. And I think this angle that you have of, specific people with specific situations, it really, the job really connects to them. And that's what I guess is making it easier for you to bring in these people and not spend a lot of money. Because most companies I've seen that are growing, they need to spend around $500 a month just on ads to grow. But I think a lot of that percentage is wasted because they're just being too generalist on their ad.
100%. The best companies in the world know exactly who their ideal customer is. They spend their money marketing toward that person, learning about them. And once you've got a handful of those people on your team, honestly, you can just ask them questions about, hey, what made you look for this job? And what kind of things, this is a great question we used to ask. Like, hey, what other jobs were you looking at when you found this one? Just to find out, okay, well, what are their interests outside?
What have they find out? What people tell you about that normally?
Well, yeah, so it just depends on their background, but a lot of people are like, well, I've cleaned before, so I was looking for a cleaning job. But, oftentimes for us, what we find is that this goes a little bit into our model. Our people are cleaning small offices by themselves. And so that's who we're targeted for. And we're also targeting specifically like introverts. And so a lot of those people are like, well, I was considering doing Uber, or I did it for a little bit and I just didn't like it because it was a random person in my car, or hey, I did DoorDash, but man, it was stressful. And so we got that a lot. But, when it comes down to it, while there's lots of part-time job opportunities out there, for us, knowing our niche, there's not a lot of part-time jobs you can get where you're working independently without anybody else around. Because even Uber and DoorDash, like you have to go interact with other people. So on our end, we were focused on hiring introverts. And so they didn't like those jobs. But the side gig type language that we use in our job ads, that they were looking for side gigs, not full-time employment. So that's a lot of the stuff that we found people were looking for. And then they'd say, whatever else, like Chipotle. But most of the time, they didn't want to go work at a Chipotle or a Chick-fil-A. They weren't interested in that.
Perfect. Now, once you hire those people, what kind of good practices or things that you're doing to manage them, to keep them engaged, to keep them happy in the company, to bring in more people? What are those good practices that you guys are following at, Athens Cleaning Company?
Yes, going back a little to the beginning where I said one of the three things that makes us different is that we're relationship first is in our approach. That's how we say we were a relationship first approach. So there's that piece, Juan, and there's also this piece for us, part of our like vision statement as a company. So meaning like, hey, this is the company we aspire to be. We say we are respected by our clients. We're respected by our clients. We're appreciated by our team members, and we're remembered by our community. So I heard this question before about the community piece. It's like, hey, if your company were to go out of business today, would anybody know that you were been gone? It's already impacting your community. But that piece in the middle there about my team members is like, are you appreciated by we are appreciated by our team members. That makes us ask that question. Well, are we appreciated by our team members? And I believe that in order for me to appreciate you, probably is going to come from like you making me feel appreciated. It's a reciprocal thing. And so, all right, well, the only way our team members are going to appreciate Athens Cleaning Company as an entity and organization to work with is if we can intentionally look for ways to make them feel appreciated. And again, that relationship first approach. So from the standpoint of when they're coming on board, one of the first things that we do once we've offered somebody a position is, we send them official stuff, right? Like, hey, here's the employment paperwork. Here's a background check, but here is a form where we're just going to ask you questions about you. Hey, Juan, what's your favorite type of drink? What's your favorite restaurant? What do you like to do with your hobbies? We want to learn about that person so that then when they're with our company, random times, birthdays, if we see a consistent good performance, we do a team member of the month program. We will give them something that's in line with what it is that they like. So instead of just giving everybody a generic $10 gift card to Starbucks, so we'll know it's their birthday and they told me that they really like TGI Fridays. So let's go get a gift card from TGI Fridays and let's take it to their, to their location and leave it for them. And when they show up the next cleaning, if it's on their birthday or after their birthday, they got a gift card. So we're doing our best to make them feel like, individuals, not just a number. I was thinking about this yesterday, man. I stopped by Starbucks last night, and I talk a lot about Starbucks and Chick-fil-A because they're very different in what they look for in team members. Their cultures are completely different. You can almost have a lineup and say that person where they work at Starbucks, and that person, just by looking at them, they work at Chick-fil-A. But from a culture standpoint, they're two of the most successful companies in the world. And one of the things they do that's in uniform with each other is that if you go there, they ask you your name. So it's not order number 37. And Starbucks last night, the first thing they said is, hey, welcome to Starbucks. This is whoever it was. What's your name? They didn't ask me what I wanted to drink. They just asked me my name. And everybody makes fun of that. They mess the names up a lot. But I'm like, hey, they asked for your name, though, so they could recognize your humanity. And we like to hear our names. So for us, we're always looking for ways that we can focus on what makes this individual an individual. What's unique about them? And then we look for ways to bring that to their attention. That's one way. We also do this thing, Juan, for us. We call it dispatch because I just haven't come up with a better name for it. But when people are checking into their account. So for us, just to give you a little bit about our business, people don't like drive to our office, get in a car together and go clean. They're like at their job, their full-time job, and they have a key to their account. They drive to, and we clean a lot of banks and doctor's offices. So they drive to the bank or doctor's office. They clean it by themselves, and then they go home. And that's the route. So we don't see our team members face to face a lot. So as a result of that, it can be really easy to like these people to feel like they're working. They're the only employee of the company, right? So we have this position called dispatch, which what they do is from a functional standpoint on the back end, they're like making sure everybody showed up to their account. So like, okay, we cleaned the bank tonight because I saw that Ashley signed in. But on the relational side, they're saying when Ashley signs in, they're sending Ashley a message. Hey, Ashley, hope you have an awesome Wednesday night. Just stuff like that. It's just making the people feel seen. And then, outside of that, everybody on our team has an individual team leader that's going to be connecting with them on a consistent basis. That's the direct manager. We call them team leaders. And so they're just making sure that person feels supported.
Wow, that's cool. I love that. I'm a big Chick-fil-A person, and when you go to other brands, it's incredible how these guys just are killing it everywhere. Just lines of cars and cars and cars. Yeah. And it really boils down to, hiring the right people, teaching them the right processes, and the people that are there, want to be there compared to other companies that just don't want to be there. And, I think that's what makes them very successful. Plus they're closed on Sunday, so that adds us to that as well.
And that's when you always want Chick-fil-A, right? Sunday morning, I'm like, man, I'm craving Chick-fil-A today. Can't get it.
Yeah. Cool, man. What about your favorite, podcast, blog, or anything that you follow in regards, cleaning business or home services in general that you want to maybe share with us?
Yeah. So, it's funny. I listen to anything I can find out there that's on commercial cleaning. I listen to the podcast. So I love Ken Carfagno's Smart Cleaning School podcast. Ken and I are good buddies. Yeah, listening to the Profitable Cleaner podcast with Angel and David,
Yeah,
and those guys from Profitable Cleaner and Day Porter.
the Porter.
I
Yeah,
listen to Cleaning and Cocktails with Ricky Regalado. Those are the three my like go tos for like, all right, who are these guys talking to? What are they talking about? And if I'm ever out and
yeah,
about, doing stuff in the field, I'm always listening to those guys. I listen to a lot of podcasts. I like that stuff anyway. But those, from the standpoint of the industry, I like to listen to them. Anytime Juan Shapiro's putting anything out, I'm trying to, I know I'm diving into what you're doing.
thank you.
Um, yeah, so yeah, I think it's great, man. When I was early in my cleaning days, there were not any cleaning podcasts. I was listening to the podcast.
Yeah,
We've been around
yeah,
for 15 or 16 years. I was listening to it like on a old school iPod. I had like download all the things I was going to listen to. So I love podcasting. I think it's a huge thing. People can really grow a lot when they're out in the field doing some of the
yeah.
work by just plugging into the right information. But those are three of the ones that I like within the industry.
Cool. Yeah, my first 3 years, 5 years of cleaning homes, I had that MP3 player back in 2000s that I downloaded audiobooks and
Mhm.
MP3s in general, and for 5 years I just listened everything that I possibly can in marketing and sales and
Yep.
technology, and that's basically how that was my university really. While I was
Yeah.
cleaning homes, because I was doing the vacuuming, so I had my headphones and just you know, for 5 years, listened to tons of books and podcasts, and it's amazing now. And I'm hoping, I'm now doing, sharing with other guys like you, amazing content, and hopefully delivering some value for other people. And now let's wrap up here with, where people can find you. I know you have some other things that you're doing, some consulting, some coaching for the industry. Can't you tell us more about that?
Yeah. So I am launching a podcast called Six Figure Cleaner. And
Mm-hmm.
that podcast will be focused on if people want to make a six-figure income as a commercial cleaning company owner. That's what the podcast will be all about. And
Right.
most of the podcast episodes will actually have people who are doing that, right? So I'm like, hey, you can learn from people who had a cleaning company 10 or 15 years ago, or
Yeah.
sold it 30 years ago to be consultants, or you can hear from people who are like in the business now who are earning six-figure incomes in commercial cleaning. So that's the,
Yeah.
the general concept of the podcast is that. But I'm also doing
I love
coaching,
it.
and I coach people who want to build a business just like mine. I don't clean fitness centers. I don't clean factories. If somebody wants to build a business cleaning those things, I'm like, you can listen to the podcast because I'll have those people on. I'm like, that's not my expertise. But if people
Yeah.
want to build a professional office cleaning business, they want to create a business they can make, over $100,000 a year on personally, I'm like, I can help you with that. So
Yeah.
that's my coaching
Cool.
is centered around that. People who want to build a business. I don't try to teach what I haven't done, but what I've done,
Yeah.
I'll teach on and coach on too. And Juan, I think you would probably agree with this. Like for the most part, a lot of the stuff that we have to do or learn isn't difficult to learn and is not difficult necessarily to do. It's just
Correct.
the emotional weight of all that can be very difficult for us. And so it's really good to have people that can understand what we do and that can build us up and offer some encouragement. And honestly, what we do is different. It's
Yeah.
hard to understand. Most people don't have businesses that do what we do and deal with the things that we deal with. So finding people within the industry that you can run with and that you can get mentored by, and eventually that you can mentor, which I know you do the same thing. Early on we're listening to all the podcasts. Now we're fortunate enough to be able to, be on the podcast sometimes,
Correct.
which is really cool. But that's what people can find me at
Okay.
sixfigurecleaner.com. Also for my company, athenscleaning.com. I tell people some of the best advice. If there's nothing else, Juan, people would get from hearing us talk today, the one thing I would tell people to do is like find the companies that look like you like, hey, I would like to have a company like that. And then
Right.
like look them up on Indeed. How are they posting job ads?
That's
If
true.
you want to clean factories, find people who are really successful there. Typically find them in a different state or something. If you want to clean offices like we do, like go type Indeed, Athens Cleaning Company. You can see all our job ads, like pull them off and, create something similar. Don't do it exactly like it, but use
Yeah.
that as a template. And
It's a template.
most of us, if we're doing like most of us aren't inventing anything out of nothing. We're just taking something that we've seen and putting our own little spin on it and trying to make
Right.
it better for us. So I'd encourage people to do that. So check out Athens Cleaning for
Cool.
sure. And, if anything that we got, you guys can, I say steal, but you can borrow it from us and make it your own.
Yeah. So many ideas out there for, anything that you want to build out there is copy and paste, but it really comes down to the execution. So, feel free. I tell also, customers, hey, go look at my website, grab the ideas, the landing page design, it's it's there, it's public, but execution and then managing the employees and the team, that's what really keeps the company growing. So
Oh, yeah,
cool,
absolutely.
man. It was a great time chatting with you, Josh. I really enjoy, and I'm, keep listening to you. And hopefully, whenever you have your podcast, please do let me know so I can
Yeah.
learn from you. And
Well, we'll have you
because
on
we
for
do,
sure. And I got to
thank
say
you.
this too, Juan, before I go, man,
Yeah,
because we started using Pipehire this year.
yeah,
And, we were figuring out how to grow and all that stuff. But man, I'm just telling you, it has been such a phenomenal investment for us. It has saved us so much time, which has therefore saved us a ton of money.
yeah,
And so I would just encourage anybody listening to this, if you're not using Pipehire yet, like it is absolutely, it's not expensive and it's worth the money. It will,
yeah,
I mean, I can't even tell you. I say it's going to 10x your investment, but it's more than that. It's just crazy how awesome this software is. And obviously, you didn't ask me to give you a plug, but I'm giving it to you
no,
because
thank you,
not because I'm on your show, because I do the same thing privately to people I coach with, but
thank
because
you.
it's good and it's helped us tremendously and saved us a ton of time. And nobody that's doing what we're doing has a ton of time
Yeah,
that they're just
yeah,
screwing around with, right? So I
yeah.
appreciate you having me on, man. And again, you guys make sure if you're not using Pipehire already, like get it, integrate it. Like you'll be glad that you did.
Thank you, Josh. It's been a pleasure, and we'll see you in the next one.
Awesome, Juan. Thanks, man.
Thank you. God bless. Bye bye.
Hey, don't forget to like, subscribe, and comment on this video and tell us what was your biggest takeaway of the interview. Also, follow us on Instagram at PipehireHRM and join our Facebook group so you can learn how to hire, manage, and retain more employees in your home service business. Hey, before you go, if you're planning on hiring and growing your headcount and revenue for your home service business, check out pipehirehrm.com.